the transportation and resources work group.
We are going live. We are live now.
Yeah.
Okay. Hello, I warmly welcome you to our 35th webinar by the Academy of Space Renaissance International. My name is Sabine Heinz, and I'm the person responsible for our webinar series and one of the vice presidents and of SRI, and also responsible for our art chapter. On this 20th of February, I'm delighted that you have to come to join us. Today, our special guest is Jerry Stone, and he is supposed to speak about Island Zero, the space project. So far, our speaker is not here in the Zoom, so we are still waiting that he is coming and entering. Nevertheless, I would like to very warm welcome Bernard Foying, our president. Hello, Bernard.
Yes, so welcome on behalf of Space Renaissance International. We thought that we could start also this session with some news from Space Renaissance, so activities from our committees, some of our events, and also upcoming activities. So I see that we can also make use some of the time.
Yes, thank you so much, Bernard. And I also would like to welcome Adriano Ottino, one of our vice presidents and former president and one of the founders of SRI. Welcome, Adriano.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Sabine.
So, Bernard, the floor is yours for the moment.
Yes, so indeed, this month of February, past February, has been very busy for Space Renaissance International, but also some of our partners. And so, for instance, we had some activities in Geneva at UN, United Nations. We attended a special working group on the space threats, and where we had a number of activities that were reported from delegation, but also how to prevent, weapons of mass destruction in space and how to control that. After that, we had also a series of events in Vienna at the United Nations copious meetings. There was the science and technical committees or subcommittee presentation, where the member of delegates from the different countries were present, but also observer organization. And in particular, I attended an event organized by COSPA, the Committee for Space Research, about climate action. Now we have also some activities as our partner organization, EarthMoon Mars, and also Eurospace Hub Academy has launched a project, a call for artists that was issued, and for providing some artwork inspired by vintage art and space and collage. And so we are happy to announce that the winners of this competition were selected, and there is a very special set of artwork that will be presented. And so you have all the opportunity actually to sponsor the artists that we want, but also to sponsor activities from young professionals that are doing analog research. Now I'm just coming, I was in Vienna. We had also a very interesting event about space, art, and science that was organized at the University of Applied Arts in Vienna. And one of the speakers was Professor Catherine Oldenberg. She's the director of E0, that's the education office of ESA in Belgium. And she presented a beautiful lecture about space and music, where actually she talked about the music of stars, of planets, and she even brought a cello that she used to illustrate, all vibration on Earth and space. Now, another line of art and space, which I know it's a very strong topic for our moderator, Sabine Heinz, who is leading our activities, the Space Renaissance Art Chapter. We had also the celebration of the launch exactly 1 year ago by a rocket by Northrop Grumman 17 of a number of beautiful experiments, science, technology, but also our special moon gallery test flight for the International Space Station with 64 artifacts that were launched to space in February last year and stayed until January. And celebrating this event, we had one artist, Eva Petrich, that had produced a 1 cubic centimeter art piece for this space moon gallery. But we just unveiled today in the big cathedral of Vienna, the St. Stephen's Cathedral or Stephen's Dome, a copy of this art piece, but it's much larger format, more than 20 meters of height for an installation that has been put in the center of the Stephen's Dome. So much bigger than the small art piece that we've launched to the International Space Station. And there will be a series of activities around this art work called Human Cocoon, and where we will also explore the link between art and cosmos. Now, toward the future, we are looking forward to have also Space Renaissance International involved in some activities. In particular, at the end of March, we'll have some special meeting in Paris at the International Astronomical Federation committee spring meetings, so where Space Renaissance members will be available. We will also talk about future activities, and one special project also that we have engaged between Eurospace Hub, Euromoon Mars, and Space Renaissance International is that we are going to build a small moon habitat that is now a construction in Italy, very close to where actually Adriano is living. And we are going to have a moon module that is been designed by our member, Serena Crotti, a space architect, and also very good outreach communicator. And this will be built in the city of Bergamo. And it will be then shown in various places, possibly in Italy, first in Torino, then in Padova, and then we'll travel with this moon habitat, which is a module plus an inflatable structure in other places in Europe. Now, I will have also to leave you to go to the moon. At the end of this month, we are restarting the simulation in our base in Hawaii, in Mauna Loa. The base is called ISIS, and it's run by the International Moon Base Alliance. And as you know, this was founded by Hank Rogers. This is a very special person that is also the owner of the Tetris company. And also a big scoop of this week, the new movies about our Space Renaissance International member, Hank Rogers, has just been released. It's called Tetris, and it will be premiere in the middle of March. And it's a great story, Hollywood style. And now Hank Rogers has also used some of his energy to work to confront climate change, but also to foster exploration. And in this, he's very much working with Space Renaissance. So that's some of the very interesting piece of news. We should also hear about some of the news from the Academy and the committees from Adriano.
Yes, before I give you the floor, Adriano, I would like to mention that we have people watching from Asgardia, the space nation, from Norway, from Texas, South Texas, from Kuwait, from California, and from Qatar. So I'm really, really happy that you are here to join us. We are trying to reach our speaker in the meanwhile on all channels. Yeah, Adriano, I give you the floor.
Okay, thank you, Sabine. Yes, we are, our committees of the Space Renaissance Academy are have begun to work. We had quite interesting meeting of the Space Law Committee. It is chaired by Dr. Marlene Lozier, and a lawyer specialized in space law, living in New York. And so we will be doing some works. And to this committee, we also had the participation of our honorary member, Jan Werner, the former director of the European Space Agency, who proposed quite interesting proposal for a space law. So he wrote a proposal for a space law that he is presenting to the German government. So that will be a very interesting thing, because his proposal touches the really important points of possible evolution of the space law. First of all, the space debris, and then some other points. And we decided in this committee that we will prepare a kind of model for the evolution of space law, listing all of our requirements from the point of view of civilian space development. So that will be our work, the work of this committee. And I invite all the possibly interested people to join our committees. So our committees are open also to non-SRI members. Then, of course, we hope that working with us, everybody will become members. However, everybody can join our committees. And so just go to the Space Renaissance website, the spacerenaissance.space, and write an email to info@spacerenaissance.space, then or .org is the same, and just saying that I would like to join this committee. On the Space Renaissance Academy website, you will also see all of our committees, how they are organized, what are the draft methodology that we are adopting, and the plan, what we are doing, what are our goals, and all these kind of things. And so you will be very, very welcome to join any of our committees. Another committee that had a meeting a few days ago is the Transport, Mining, and Industry Committee, together with the Orbital Debris and NEOS Committee, chaired by Werner Grandl from Austria. And so we had a quite interesting discussion about the current initiatives about orbital debris and the dangerous asteroids that are frequently crossing our orbit and even near Earth during the last weeks. We also had a panoramic of the new space economy, so the industry from the industrial point of view. We learned that there are more than 600 new space companies in the world, working in several different sectors of this of the new space economy that is really gaining momentum in a very, very important way. So we have companies working around the space debris problem, about moon and asteroid mining, about all those sectors that are just 10 years ago, they were not that important. But now they are becoming important. Why? Because we have reusable space rockets, and we will hopefully have a fully reusable rocket, a space vehicle, launch vehicle that will decrease the cost of any space mission. Therefore, it will support and boost the space economy, the new space economy, the human space flight and human settlement in space, and the development of industrial settlements and all this kind of things. Of course, the first steps will be on the moon and in the cislunar space and in Earth orbit. In Earth orbit, we will have commercial space station. Axiom is doing one of these things, and the Blue Origin together with Sierra we are doing another project, planning to orbit their commercial space stations in a few years. So they are talking about 2027 or something like that, and that's very, very important, because it will mean that more people will travel to Earth orbit. They will see Earth from there. They will have the overview, the famous overview effect, and their mind will start to generate new ideas and new business and initiatives and all these kind of things. All of this is very, very enthusiastic perspective that we hope very much, and we are working for that. We'll develop it during the next now it's not anymore 10 years. 2030 is only 7 years far away. So
here's immediately a question. Also, I would like to welcome also Steve Salmon from the UK. We have guests from the Netherlands and from South Indian Ocean. And Steve is asking, he missed the orbital debris NEOS meeting, and is there a YouTube recording link which you could please post there, or is this recorded?
Yes, it is recorded, and yes, I can look for the link. If you give me one moment. In the same time, I am afraid that Jerry Stone had some problems, because maybe
yes.
Because we unfortunately we don't have any news by him, and therefore
I'm also very concerned, because he is very reliable, and
so I'm very concerned, and I want to apologize with our audience that we cannot give unless he will arrive. Maybe he will arrive in some minutes or
in the meantime, when you are looking, I give you the floor immediately again. I would like to mention that our next, it belongs also to our academy, the webinar series. Our next webinar will be on the 6th of March. And on the 8th of March is International Women's Day. So I invited, of course, a woman. We have an artist. We have two artists, feminine artists in March. The first one is Priscilla Thomas. She will talk on the 6th of March. And I'm really happy that I could win an artist from the Netherlands. Also Priscilla is from the UK, from the United States, and we have another artist from the Netherlands. It's Danielle Futselaar, and she has published several books, and she is a really gifted artist too, and I like her artwork. I like the artwork of both women. So I'm really happy that I could win them, and so March will be Women's Day, and we have artists, art and science, and
space.
And space. I'm really happy, and that we have these two women talking. Adriano?
Yes, I'm sorry that my
if
not, I give an outlook of the next webinars too.
Yes, I can also give you some news, very odd news, because we have just sent 6 young professionals to the moon. So we have a program which is called EarthMoon Mars Poland, and we just sent now 6 young analog astronauts and they will be locked for 1 week inside a module, and this is based actually close to Poland, in Poland, close to Krakow, and they will live there without a window, without knowledge of the time, and they will, are going to conduct a series of experiment for technology, for biology, but also social interactions. And and actually it's a program where for the first time we have got also a special support from a new funding from the European Commission called Eurospace Hub Academy. And so we are actually funding half of the cost of sending this young astronaut to the moon. And so there are 2 students from the International Space Universities. There are also 2 students from Dublin Technical University. And we have also a student in law from Geneva. And so they are all forming a very interdisciplinary cohort class from this Eurospace Hub Academy, where we have now contribution from about 10 universities in Europe. So you will hear more about it and what it takes for a community that is very diverse to look at the challenge of surviving on the moon, doing research. And that's something clearly that we want to integrate also in how we can engage the next generation, also working with some of the wiser space experts. And this opportunity is open to all, and we want to develop space for all. So it's like our Sustainable Development Goal number 18, like, space for all. And so this is also an opportunity where, if you are interested, you can join, or you can also sponsor some of this research, or get into contact for some of these experiences.
Thank you. Yeah, I also want to mention that we have a supporter. It's Gerdani from oh God.
Free Science.
Free Astroscience, yeah, genau, Free Astroscience. Okay. Yes. And he's posting our webinar and hosting it in several social media channels. And I wanted to mention that in April, we have Eugen Reichel. He has written a lot of books about space, and he will talk about the Red Moon, China's way to the moon, because we are talking about this. And I saw some days ago on TV 3 parts documentary about space exploration and settlement on the moon and on the Mars. And I saw many of our speakers from the webinar series as interview partners, such as Hank Rogers, Robert Zubrin, Jan Werner was talking. Then the speaker we had from India, Adriano help me. It was Madhu Tangavelu. Yeah, genau. He was there. Also many people I had seen in our webinar series, and it was really nice to see them at TV and knowing the people. And we will have Ulrich Köhler. He is from the DLR, and he will talk about Joey's journey to Jupiter. And I listened this lecture in New Brandenburg at the Space Days, and I can promise you it's really worth to watch it. And yeah, so now I give back to you, Adriano.
Yes. Okay. So I'm sorry. I found in this time I found the link to the meeting of the committee that somebody asked for. The Transport, Mining Industry and Orbital Debris NEOS Committee meeting is on YouTube, and I I have put the link in the chat of our YouTube live stream now. Okay.
Now, of course, you are all invited to join as members, because this gives you access to really a treasure chest of information, of connection, of opportunities also to be part of some of the committees of some of the events that we are organizing. And it's really huge value for money, as it's €24 per year. And if you are a student, it's half of the price, because we want also to involve all the younger workforce. So you can really join in at any level there. And then you will get all this information as well about committees, articles, papers that we are preparing. We are now quite busy preparing for some various conferences that are to take place in the near future. Space Renaissance is a co-sponsor of a session at the European Geoscience Union Assembly that will take place in the last week of April. And so we are co-sponsoring in particular a special session on lunar science and exploration, but also a session on space and planetary instrumentation. So I'm organizer of some of these sessions together with a young professional space architect, Serena Croti. Now, every time you will see us always with a good diversity and gender balance. Today we have Sabine, she's birth 2 against Adriano and me, so that we see we have a good balance. And so we'll have an event at the end of April. I've mentioned the committee meetings end of March, where if you want to participate, it's enough that you contact some of us and we get you some access to this beautiful committees and global networking forum activities of the IF. Now we have also in preparation for May, and the Eurospace Sub Consortium is organizing a special festival about space. And guess where they want to hold it? It will be held in Ibiza. So it will be a place where we are going to celebrate the joy of space. Also, there will be panels, but we have a special programs for experts, for young professionals, even for kids and families. So keep posted about Eurospace Space Festival in Ibiza on the first week of May. We have also been participating to an event that will take place in Torino, Space City, and this is organized by the Académie de l'Air et de l'Espace. So it's a French Air and Space Academy, but they are meeting in collaboration with Torino Politecnico of Torino, and 10 to 12 of May, and the subject will be about space exploration, all aspects, Moon, Mars, technology, benefits, legal aspect. So that, and I will be moderating there a special panel on exploring the moon, but protecting the lunar environment. And then there are other events we are planning for the month of June. So last week of June, there will be the European Lunar Symposium in the beautiful city of Padova, 27th to 29th of June. And there are a number of very interesting sessions, science-oriented, science from the moon, science on the moon, or science of the moon, but also using space resources on the moon, and also future missions. And we will talk also how we are going to bring all humanity and all benefits back to humanity by exploring and using the moon. So we have seen that Barbara has joined us.
Yes, I wanted to say the same. I am writing her. Would you like to talk about Barbara is as well member of Space Renaissance International, and she's an artist, and she is also member of the IAAA, International Association of Astronomical Artists. And would you like to tell us something about the cooperations and upcoming activities? The floor is yours.
Two activities. One is a cooperation with, I guess you could say, a publishing house called Springer. They've accepted the article on Africa, home of space art and indigenous astronomy. And so I managed to round up a lot of African artists who do astronomical art to give them and myself a place to show their work. So that's coming out soon. And then Pulsar is the magazine that the IAAA puts out. And they put out an anniversary edition of 40 years. And so one of my pieces got chosen for that, along with the legacy people, the ones who really do the stuff you're used to looking at in all the videos and all the books. So that's nice. And then along with that is that it was made for the Seven Moons orchestrated piece. And it's part of the video, all of the ones that we've done. I've forgotten the lady who is the composer, but it has been recorded by an orchestra in London. And now it is making the rounds of the world and getting PR and press, and apparently it's very beautiful. And it should be able to be played in places where you can go and see the stars. I mean, it should be able to be played in a hemisphere as well as like it were on a stage or something. So that was a huge international collaboration, and it's gone from success to success. They've been doing a lot of TV shows and radio shows and magazine shows about it. And so it's getting quite the press. I also wanted to say that I went to pay for some art, and I paid with PayPal. And when I got to the payment part, it said I can donate $1, the IAAA. So they had chosen the IAAA as their surrogate partner, I suppose, because I don't think the IAA knew about it, because the treasurer was asking me, I wonder why we kept getting $1, But apparently they collect all the dollars, and at a certain point they hand it over. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was quite interesting. You have to find yourself something related to science that they will take you on for something like that.
Ah, yeah. Thank you, Barbara.
That's a hell of a collaboration.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to more cooperations, and we had the president of the IAA talking here, Aldo Spadoni, and it was a really interesting talk. We really enjoyed it, and
they're on a workshop now. They're all driving to somewhere that looks like the moon, and Death Valley, I think. They're all going to Death Valley. I guess it's in Arizona.
When will it be?
Right now.
Ah, yeah. Oh, interesting.
Like Friday now.
Ah.
And they're going to spend some days there, staying in a hotel or camping out, and
painting.
And doing their drawing. And one of the things they do is they segment a piece of the environment, and artist 1 takes that piece, artist 2 takes the next, artist 3 takes the next, and then they do a panorama of all of the drawings.
Oh, this is nice. It's really a nice idea, because it's different styles, and it's interesting.
And so they try to, and they'll work it in to where it will meet as much as possible.
It's an interesting idea. It's very nice. So they have to be very, very detailed, I guess. I think we could close the webinar. I would like to thank you for coming. I have to apologize again that our speaker didn't show up, and when we now, maybe in any case, we will try to repeat this webinar because the topic is very interesting, and we were all curious to listen this topic, to see this lecture. And thank you, Barbara, for coming spontaneously into the chat and to talk. Bernard, I would like to give you the word too again for last word before I say goodbye.
Barbara was talking about AI going to the moon. Actually, I'm going to the moon in 1 week. On 1 week, I'm going to go in our moon base, ISIS, together with Hank Rogers, and I'm bringing a space architect, that's Cato Claes, that we have just hired to run a simulation in Hawaii for the next year. And we have a new model for that. It's a model where we have some relation with some wealthy explorers, some explorers that pay $1 million to go in the Trench Mariana or to go to space. Also, we train them in our moon base, and then this allows us to bring some researchers to support some of these expeditions. So now it's much more affordable for everybody to come with a bit of training. So we are starting this new formula now from the 1st of March. I'll be there. And interestingly, that's a place which is surrounded by volcanic basalt, like the moon is. Even now we travel back in time because we had just a gigantic volcanic eruption that was surrounding our base. So we can see how the moon was 4 billion years ago when it was covered with the ocean of magma. And so we are going to do some science, some technology, but also looking how to live there and make the habitat operational for all of you that want also to engage and train to develop our civilization beyond the cradle of the earth. So looking forward, next development, many activities this year, and also an increasing base for all of you to participate. Thank you.
I've got one more thing. Just to remind you guys that next year, I think it's about the same time, maybe a little bit later, when the eclipse comes, if you can afford a ticket to Texas, where all the artists are going to get together, or as many as can, in Texas.
8th of April.
Where it comes over. And we're going to stake out for a couple of nights, have some fun, and then have a drawing experience, painting experience, picture experience, writing experience, whatever you do. And then Nicole Stott and someone else I've made a special tour for us of the Johnson Space Center. So I think that is like not to be missed if you're thinking about coming to the States and not going to Disneyland, instead going to Johnson Space Center.
Actually, in 3 weeks,
and you
after our campaign in Hawaii, after our campaign in Hawaii, we are going to Houston at the Lunar Planetary Science Congress, where we have got 20 abstracts which were selected from our community to present. So I'll go there with a little cohort of a young professional talking on all aspects of the lunar and planetary science. And we are, of course, going to visit Johnson Space Center. So this is the first this year where we bring so many posters, but we want to make it a tradition where many can go and attend this event, which has started from the Apollo times.
I think you should make it a requirement that they all take photographs and put together an exhibition for themselves. You might really do that as a requirement that they take, and then they do art off of that. If they write, if they do this, if they do that, whatever.
Yes, that's part of
the engagement with what they saw.
Yes, okay, that's part of the Eurospace Sub Academy. They get some grants, but in exchange, they have to do some research, they have to share with their peers. They are, engaging even more their community.
And then they write about it, right? They write
Yes.
about the picture,
They
their feelings
write.
about the picture, the science behind the picture.
Yes, I'm
art
just
behind the
also,
picture.
I'm going to hire a filmmaker. I was contacted by a student that is writing a film script and even theater, and we are going to make some new movies about exploring space.
Yeah.
Okay.
We need
But
actors.
do them both. Also, because photographs tell a totally different story.
Yes.
And you can get many angles that you cannot get from a camera, from a film camera. Get them to get different angles than we usually would see.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay. Behind the scenes. Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Adriano, do you want to add something?
No, I just want to ask to Barbara, do you have anything to show us? Some artworks or some slides?
Yes, lots.
I wanted to invite her for a webinar.
Okay.
Ja, genau. Ne? We make a webinar. Yes.
Okay. Because
if you want to show something now.
I have a site on academia.edu. It's baking.academia.edu, and it has all my papers, except the one that's being published. And then it has a gallery listing. So I've listed my gallery, and you can see all kinds of examples, just small examples. But I'd be happy to do a webinar, but I'll send you the link.
Yeah.
Yes, I write you an email, and we do a webinar. We organize a webinar together. Yes. Okay.
Good teaser. Barbara,
I would like to thank you, everyone, for joining us, for staying here with us, and also to the audience that they stayed, even if the promised speaker didn't show up. But I hope we could fill this time with interesting news, with interesting topics, and maybe you want to join SRI. We are really nice people. We are really engaged, and we are all working as volunteers. So please come and join us, support us. And I hope to see you on the 6th of March when we have our next webinar with Priscilla Thomas, an artist from the United States. Okay, thank you so much, and I wish you a nice evening.
So long.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Ad astra.